nothing against the plain Jane female. Anybody like the females who they makeup done, a female who doesn't really get their hair done often. The plain Jane female.
Okay, so she's talking about women who wear their hair like this.
Why is it so hard for us pretty girls? Why is it so hard for us pretty girls?
Okay, so let me get this straight. The plain Jane women are the women who don't need makeup, who don't need to wear fake eyelashes, who don't need to wear wigs. They're not pretty, but the women who have to wear all this stuff to look pretty are pretty.
Seem like all the guys, the good guys, always like cuff the plain Jane females.
No, we actually want a natural human woman. Y'all are running around looking like whole Bratz dolls. And to the women who say, why are you all in women's business? Well, remember, this woman is wondering why men don't want her. Because there's an embedded mental illness in wanting to walk around looking like a Bratz doll. You can't tell me this is not the look that she's trying to accomplish.
It's not about plain Jane women. It's about real, authentic women. You're not going to feel like a baddie. You're not going to look like a baddie, but you will attract a man that actually wants to be with you, wants to love you. Why? Because you now are showing for the first time ever, probably since you was 9 or 12, that you love yourself because you're walking out the door looking like yourself.
I mean, listen, oftentimes women will say you like women with makeup because you picked the woman with makeup, right? It's not that we like the women with makeup. It's just that we like what you like, which is the least amount of imperfections, which is why you put on the makeup. You're trying to smooth out your issues, your imperfections, right? So if you didn't need makeup or if you didn't have makeup on and your skin looked clear, guys would like that. And women will actively do things that they know will attract men. They know you wear the lipstick, you wear the hair extensions, you wear this color, this eyeshadow. You know, these little things help draw men's attention. But at the end of the day, I think it's a double-edged sword, because at the end of the day, the more you condition your brain to think that this is your best way that you can look, right? You'll never really appreciate the way that you look without all of that. So every time you go to the wedding, you got to have a beat up face, which is a weird way of saying, you know, I got makeup on, but I digress. And then as you get older, you need even more makeup because the years of clogging your pores and putting that crap on your face is going to have an inverse effect on the way that your skin looks. So then you're going to add even more because you're already going to feel issues as far as like as you get older, you know, you want to look younger, especially for women because their beauty is currency. So it's just like it's a never ending cycle of like damage to women the more they try to present themselves as something that's not actually real, which is why when guys see women that are natural beauties, we don't know what it takes for you to be a natural beauty because, you know, I used to be married to a black woman. The amount of work it takes to deal with natural hair, it's a lot. You got all this extra stuff and you got to wash it and then twist, blowouts. It's a lot. So I got no issue when a woman says that she want to be a natural or she don't want to be natural because I know what it costs. I know what it takes and I see what's going on. But that doesn't mean that we don't appreciate all that you are. Matter of fact, we appreciate it so much we want you to stop wearing makeup, but women don't care. They say they do this for ourselves and that they will continue to do it in spite of the guy say, hey, I'd rather you not do it. So it's just like, what's the guy to do? Not talk to women because they got makeup? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or just maybe find the very few women that actually do not have any makeup at all. So you just kind of be like, it's not a deal breaker. I'll deal with the makeup. But most guys, if you ask them, they're telling the truth. They don't really care about makeup like that. It's the women that care about it.
So I have a mix. So I do know men who do care that you're made up, right? When you go out with them. Like, I don't know if it's an Atlanta thing or what. There are some men who they don't want you to look plain. They want you to look like you going somewhere. Okay. I can see you playing at home. When we step out this door, we got to look good together. You feel me? So that's just maybe the Atlanta way. I don't know.
It's not about it being the Atlanta way. It's just that sometimes you look tired because you a lot of women be looking tired. So you put the makeup on to kind of spruce up all the stuff that's like
So the
that's
point
lacking.
is
That's
to say that you don't want them to have makeup. That's not always, and maybe not everywhere you go, but you do want them to wear makeup when you step out together, right? As far I mean but you're not the more there are different types of guys, right? It's never one size fits all. But when I look at men and I say, okay, when I look at women, I'm like, okay, the plain Jane. I think people do what works for them, right? So the women that he showed in the videos, the plain Janes, they don't have to wear makeup. They look beautiful naturally like that. But maybe this girl, she has to wear makeup to get the same attention this person just walks outside to get without the makeup. Does that make sense? It's almost like that BBL talk, right? Men be like, oh, I don't want you to have a BBL. I don't want you to have a BBL. But if you saw that she looked like SpongeBob before the BBL, and you saw the BBL, you like, the BBL probably was your best bet. This because you didn't know what she looked like before. And then when you look at her before, you're like, oh, okay, I see why she did that. Yeah, that was a good look for you. So I think that the part is, it's like people are just out here doing what works for them, right? If you go into a party, you're never getting attention. Nobody's ever stepping to you, but you notice that people at least give you a chance when you got makeup on. You're gonna try that. And even as a man, I'm pretty sure y'all got, it's not makeup, but it's other things that you do that enhance you getting women, right? So I think that the conversation is bigger than the way we're, the picture that we're painting.
Shan, the other thing too is when men, oh, go ahead, AP.
Oh no, go ahead. I can wait.
Is that I think men also don't understand makeup in and of itself, because when you have women that wear makeup, but they wear the kind of makeup that looks natural, like natural makeup, men don't know that that's makeup, right? I think a lot of times what they're speaking to is like what he had up there with the dolls, right?
I call it the fashion fair makeup. Remember back in the day, the fashion fair people used to have like the caked up makeup,
right? When they're going overboard with the makeup, right? So I think that's the difference. I don't think most men care about you wearing the makeup, but it's about how you look when you're in the makeup. I don't want you to look like a clown. Like, you don't need to be putting on blush and all blue eyeshadow, whatever, like, and then you got the snuffleupagus eyelashes on, like you're just doing too much, right? But if you have something simple that's just like a nude makeup that smooth out your skin, and yeah, I think they're completely fine with that, because they want them to look as close as to who they are, than putting on all this makeup and you look like a totally different person when you take it off. I don't even know who you are. Turns out you actually 3 shades darker than what I thought you were. You know what I'm saying? Or lighter. It could go either way, but I think it's about just trying to keep to the closest of your natural look as possible, and just wearing a little bit of makeup to kind of smooth everything out.